Hello, everyone. Happy Friday the
Hello.
13th. Today is going to be this is our first installment of Let's Talk About Doctor Who. And my co-host is the Mary Stone.
Now, do I need to close up StreamYard now or still leave it? So we'll.
Yeah, you leave your stream yards running so you can communicate. Because that's what we're doing this over. Is StreamYards, and it's streaming to the YouTubes.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. First up,
Oh my god, my voice sounds so weird.
I know how you feel because whenever I listen to recordings of my voice, I'm like, that's my voice? Doesn't sound
That's what
anything
it
like me.
sounds
Yep.
like.
But anyway,
Anyway.
we're gonna be, since this is our first inaugural episode, we're basically going to introduce ourselves and tell what we love about Doctor Who, how long we've been watching Doctor Who. That way we can't have people sit there and go, "Oh, you just started watching and just so you could bitch." I'm like, no, dumbass.
No, you have
I've,
no
I've been
idea.
watching Doctor Who since the third Doctor, John Pertwee.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
so,
was like, it's like you've been watching it a little bit before me, because you know, but still, like, it was like mine was Tom Baker. Oh,
mhm.
oh, frick yeah,
Tom Baker is perhaps one
the
of
mm-hmm,
the best doctors
mm-hmm,
that's ever done the role. He is the quintessential
mm-hmm.
doctor people think of whenever they think of Doctor Who.
Yeah. So it's just like when people talk about the newer stuff, they might like a Tenant might pop up or something, but the Doctor, for like generations, Baker, you know.
And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Don,
Mm-hmm.
Tom Baker was the doctor for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people here in the United States because he was the longest doctor in
Mm-hmm.
the United States for the longest time because of PBS
Mm-hmm.
rerunning his episodes of the Doctor Who show, uh,
Mm-hmm.
of the various serials that they would do,
Mm-hmm.
and it it was awesome. I mean,
Oh my God, it was incredible.
the stories the stories still stand to this day, even though
Mm-hmm.
most of the special effects back then did not was not the best because they were literally doing it on a shoestring budget.
Yeah, but that's when it didn't matter, because the stories, the writing is what really carried. You know what I mean?
Yes, story makes it
Mm-hmm.
so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you've got a good story and you've got good actors, you're good to go. It's like I keep
Mm-hmm.
telling people, there's no such thing as bad characters, just bad writers.
Mm-hmm.
Because you
Yep.
can take a really awesome concept for a character and give it to a bad writer and it's going to suck. You can
Mm-hmm.
take a horrible concept for a character and give it to an amazing writer and make it work.
Mm-hmm. It's like, remember that old dude that said when the Daleks were first introduced, like in the second episode, and he said that was a dumb idea.
Yeah. And the dialects have they are the quintessential
Villain. Mm-hmm.
villain of the Doctor Who
Mm-hmm.
franchise that everybody thinks of for when it comes to villainy in the
Mm-hmm.
in Doctor Who. And they're exterminate,
Mm-hmm.
exterminate, battle
And people
cry.
like and people like the Master and like the Cybermen and what comes on usually after, but Daleks are always first. You
Yep.
know.
And it's like I said, it's the Doctor Who ex- experience is proof that good writers is what makes a show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Exactly.
more than any other franchise out there,
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Who has to have
It has
good
to.
writers
It has
because
to.
the
It's
the,
like
the
I said. Like I said, it wasn't all Jodie's fault. It just the writing was so crap, and she was badly miscast. That black chick, she gave more of a Doctor Who vibe, a more
Yeah,
Doctor vibe
Jodie,
than she did.
Joe Martin, I think is her name.
Yeah, that Joe Martin or whatever name. Oh, yeah, you just see her, it's like, yep, Doctor.
Because
Immediate vibes.
in many ways, Jodie Whittaker tried.
Mm-hmm.
She was trying to be a version of David Tennant's 10th Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
That physicality of it, where she's running around all the time.
Yeah.
But she didn't have the intellect of the Doctor. See, that's why I say you have to have a very smart writing crew when it comes to the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, the Doctor is ancient. He is no matter what he looks like on the outside, on the inside, he's ancient.
He's beyond ancient,
He's been there. He's seen that.
So many times.
The T-shirt he got when he saw it the first time has turned to dust. It is that old.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me started about what they did with the Timeless Children, where Chin Balls really destroyed the Doctor and the Time Lord
in one dang episode.
Yes,
and he even contradicted himself a few minutes later with the regenerating Time Lord Cyberman. Who the fuck came up with that?
Yeah.
What the hell? And all the other crap in between, and they just freaking member buried Jack. I was like, oh, you gotta be joking. I was like, that's what basically gave birth to my channel after all that mess. And then I found you guys. Hey, I'm not alone in this. In my freaking Dalek levels of rage about what was done.
Well, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Doomcock stated Star Trek Discovery (STD) is what launched his channel, because they basically screwed over the Star Trek franchise with that show. And going back in time to try to rewrite it and make it more friendly to modern audiences, they introduced the body horror element of plucking people's eyeballs out all the damn time.
That was never a freaking thing. Never a thing.
And don't get me started about Shitty Gatwa, because he was even worse than Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor.
I know.
Because the Doctor cares more about his companions than he does himself.
And everyone else, he's there to help. Even his own enemies, he tries to help. Even at the cost of his own physical well-being, which has happened a lot.
Yes. At the episode that they dubbed the Planet of the Incels, the dude, he starts dancing because the so-called villain who got reduced to the sperm and the egg zygote gets vacuumed up, killing it, and he's dancing happy about it. That's not the Doctor, boys and girls.
No, it's not the Doctor. Our Doctor would have been horrified, beyond belief.
I mean, look at John Hurt when he played the War Doctor. The whole concept, when he regenerated into the War Doctor, he regenerated as a very young man to be a warrior, to fight the Time War, fighting both the Time Lords and the Daleks.
And that's the same flipping time. That's the whole thing about the moment comes in, and then he's so done with all of it. He's just moments away of setting the thing off himself, but he doesn't do it yet.
Because he didn't want to. Taking a life to the Doctor was one of those things that he just did not want to do. It went against everything he believed in. And the
Mhm,
doctor,
exactly. Mhm.
that's the doctor, boys and girls, when it boils down to it.
Yep.
And
Uh-huh.
that's why the moment manifested as Bad Wolf, as Billy
Mhm.
Piper. Now, in all
Mhm.
honesty, if they really wanted to seriously do a female doctor, Billy Piper is who they should have picked for the role. They had already proven
Yep.
that when they chose Peter Capaldi, that the
Mhm.
doctor could pull up somebody from his past to mold his body into. And Billy Piper's
Mhm.
character of Rose was so
Mhm.
integral to the modern era
Yeah.
doctor. For
And her
fuck's
and
sake.
her character, yeah, yeah, it's like her
He,
character can even handle the certain powers of a Time Lord. So
mhm.
yeah, it's like Francis is right there. You know.
And they could
You know.
they would have had the fans go, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Now,
Exactly. Mhm.
Jodie Whittaker is a good actress. I've seen her in several other things that she's done, like
Yeah. She,
Broadchurch.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
She's good in that.
but
But just. Ugh.
she did not have the gravitas to be the doctor because the doctor
No,
is
she don't.
supposed to be level-headed. He's supposed to have,
Mhm.
remember, he knows stuff, and he's got to make
Mhm.
sure that he keeps his poker face at all times. Even with
Yep.
Matt Smith,
Yep.
when he was introducing a whimsy into the doctor, he kept
Mhm.
up the fact that yes, the doctor looked like a kid, but he was super old, and he had
Mhm.
that gravitas to
Yep.
show, yes, he's more mischievous this time around. And
But he's still the core.
yeah,
Of what he really is.
now what
Mhm.
gets me about uh, it's like Peter Capaldi. He
Mhm.
is another one that proves if the writing sucks, the show's not going to go well because
Mhm.
he, as an actor, had the gravitas to do the doctor. He carried the doctor in the way he moved, the way he talked, the way
Oh
he
yes, he did.
acted.
Oh yes, he did.
Now, I got upset with his era of Doctor
Mhm.
Who because of the way he was treating military personnel and ex-military personnel,
Mhm.
saying they were so stupid.
Mhm.
Oh, you can't be a math teacher. You're too stupid. You've got to just be the physical education teacher. And I'm like, no, the doctor never would say that. He wouldn't even.
Now that's when some of us first started to see. It's like, oh crap, here we go. You
Yeah,
know.
and it did. It really upset me as a disabled
Mhm.
veteran. And
Mhm.
I keep
Yep.
thinking about all the times in the past where when he dealt with individual soldiers, he never treated them, talked down to them, treated them badly. In fact,
Mhm.
there was one unit soldier that he just an enlisted man, not an officer here, boys and girls. This guy was a sergeant. Because every time somebody walked into the TARDIS, they'd look around and go, "Oh my God, it's bigger on the inside. I can't believe this." Well, this unit sergeant walks in, looks around, keeps on doing his thing, and the doctor stops him and says, "Aren't you going to say something about it being bigger on the inside?" And he says, "It was bloody well obvious. Why should I say anything?"
I
and,
know that was great.
and the doctor got this big smile, and he says, "I think
Oh,
I'm going to like you."
that was great. Oh my
And
god. Yeah.
because the doctor, he
Mhm.
understood that just like a tool, soldiers are not the ones that cause wars. They're the poor sons of bitches who have to go fight them whenever somebody does something stupid and starts a war.
Mhm. Yep.
That it's on their backs, on the soldiers' backs, that a war is carried and won or lost. And
Exactly.
that's and the doctor, being who the doctor is, knows that. He knows
Mhm.
that it's not their fault that they're in the middle of a flipping war. It. Why do you think he didn't like the leadership of Gallifrey? And when at the end of Capaldi's run, he was like, "Get them
Oh,
out."
he hated those. Oh god, that's like he when he was tearing um wrestling the literal new one in front of the entire army, and his whole army sides with the doctor because
Hmm.
they all were so tired of his shit.
Yep.
And he goes like, "Oh, you call reinforcements?" He's like, "Nah, you did. A whole bunch of war TARDISes." I was like, "You're screwed now, asshole."
And that's, like I said, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Who is truly the thinking man sci-fi, or the
Mm-hmm.
thinking woman sci-fi. It's very cerebral,
Yep. It really is.
and you have to have a writing staff that gets that,
Mm-hmm.
but also is able to still touch on the humanity.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who it was that said that that was the whole thing about the doctor. He was so human, he had to have two hearts.
Exactly.
That he had that much love and that much compassion. He had to have two hearts to hold it all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the reasons why he's one of my all-time favorite characters in science fiction and fantasy. He
Exactly. Mine too.
and But he's not afraid to stand and fight when it's necessary.
Exactly.
He doesn't want to hurt even his enemies, but if he has to protect somebody else,
He
he
will.
does it. Which is
Mm-hmm.
anybody that's known me for a while knows that's pretty much my personality in a nutshell. I don't like
Yep.
violence. I don't like seeing people get hurt. But if I see somebody bullying somebody else, then I'll stand up and try to
Mm-hmm.
stop it, because I don't like bullies. Bullies are vile,
Me neither.
evil things. Hey
Ugh,
Zachary,
tell me about it.
how you doing, son? Hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful
Hey,
day.
Zach.
But yeah, we're talking about Doctor Who, son, and I still remember when I was over there for your second birthday, and a commercial for Doctor Who came on, and you and Jack came rushing in to
Mm-hmm.
watch it, and your mom ran faster than you so she could turn the channel. And she turned the channel to to something else, and Jack and Zachary both looked at each other and got this frustrated looks on their faces, and looked at the TV, looked at their mom, and then looked at me. And I said, because I was at the time, I could not move around that well because it was right after the accident, and
Mm-hmm.
I still had to have special braces on my legs so I could walk at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, don't look at me. She's the one that's got the remote. And then she just left the room. uh, oh, why? You haven't truly beaten Jedi Survivor until you've got all of the stuff, son. You got to go find all the little cases and all of the echoes and all that stuff. You got to go find them all, man. I'm still in the process of doing that after I got to Tanalore and did everything there. And to be honest, I'm enjoying that part, just the exploring of the Jedi Survivor world. Did the same thing with yeah, that's what I'm talking about too. Um, just do what I'm doing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
exploring the area around and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm holding off on going back to Coruscant to go find all the stuff at Coruscant that I haven't found yet, because it's going to be a pain in the butt, because you literally are having to make sure you can get to these places and not get lost. That's my problem. I keep getting lost.
Oh, At least I'm not the only one that gets lost all the freaking time when they play stuff sometimes. Just like one gets turned around so easy sometimes. It's like everybody just automatically knows.
Yeah, Bode does turn into a real butt munch, man. I mean, he's a total fuck nugget, but that's beside the point. But I understand why he was. If it came to me having to protect you, Zach, I'd be doing some really messed up shit to keep you safe. So I totally get where he came from on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, back to Doctor. Okay, one of the things that we'll be talking about on here will be Doctor Who, the TV show, the novels, the radio shows that they did, the radio audio plays as they called them.
Mm-hmm.
Very true, Zach. That's how I feel about it too. Because
I have like 3 encyclopedias beside me right now. You want to see them?
Sure.
Okay, what's a 1 second? I don't know how well this will show up.
All right, I'll make you big. Oh yeah. I almost bought that set at a convention until I found out how expensive it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a couple of these were not cheap, so I have to wait till I got a bit of extra money they were like on sale.
Yeah. Very true, Zach. Very, very true.
Oh, and here's this one.
Is that the? Oh yeah, I've got a couple of the owner's manuals for the TARDIS, and the one that they put out with the 11th saying, "So you want to?"
Oh yeah. Oh! I got those. Hold on. Let me go get them. Oh, hold on.
All right. Very true. Bode did in many ways use that as an excuse, his fatherhood aspect as an excuse of being a douche, because he literally could have, if he had worked with Cal and them to turn Tanalorr into a safe zone, man, that would have been awesome. Yep, the visual dictionary, awesome, dude.
Okay, hold on.
I have somewhere around here the user's manual for the TARDIS, and I've also got
that one.
And I've also got Tom Baker, one of the best. I've also got the one that they put out that the 11th Doctor wrote on how to be a Time Lord.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's so cool. And but yeah, I mean, Doctor Who's got novels, they've got books, role playing games. I even think that there's a computer game. Yeah, sure. Let me get Zachary a link. All right, give me 1 second. I'm sending Zach his link. Come on, bring it up. Where are you at? Oh, there we go. There you go. There's your link, son. But like I said, Doctor Who, the TV shows, I know that there was a cartoon. There's the fan works where they take the old shows that all they still have is the audios, and they animate them and put them up. And
it'll look for you, BD. It's a great attitude.
But like I said, Doctor Who to me was very inspirational as a kid because this was an adult that was going around standing up to bullies. And at the time, I was getting bullied a lot.
Me too.
And
all through school.
I didn't really get bullied, more so just taken advantage of.
Yeah, that too. That part sucks.
Clanker! Hold on, I need to kill the clankers.
All right. But yeah, when it comes to Doctor Who, you've got to have really good a really good writing staff that
Mhm.
that thinks things through. They think more about the story and how the Doctor would interact with it. Because,
Mhm.
like I said earlier, the Doctor is so old. He he's experienced so much. He knows stuff
Mhm.
that most people have forgotten or never knew about.
Mhm.
And you've
He has seen the very end of time itself. The whole Rings of Akhenaten thing.
Damn.
Yep, that's where that came from.
yeah, and
Mhm.
like I said, Doctor Who is one of those shows.
Mhm.
I mean, like I said, Peter Capaldi had the capacity to be on the same level as Tom Baker as the Doctor. He
Mhm.
has that presence. He has
Yep.
that gravitas.
Yep.
And I was looking so forward to seeing that. Uh, there was a Doctor Who fan that she does a lot of animations, and she was like, whatever they released, they said that it was going to be Peter Capaldi. And one of the things Peter Capaldi's known for is using the word fuck a lot.
Mhm.
And everybody was like, how are they going to do that with the Doctor? And she animated it, and it had Peter Capaldi's Doctor and Clara, and the Dalek shows up, and the Doctor goes off on a tirade using the F word and everything else.
Yep.
It zooms in on one of the
Mhm.
Daleks going, "What the hell?" and it,
Oh,
and
that was great.
and the animations ends with the look of shock on the animated girl's face that's watching the show, and then it goes the best. And I'm like, that was good.
Exactly.
And I mean, they had the they had the right mix of actors. They had the special effects. They just had a crappy showrunner and writing staff, which
Mhm.
is wild because Chin Balls was on a show talking about the original back during classic Doctor Who, talking about the fact that the writing was getting crappy and that the fans, you know, were getting upset over bad writing. And what did he do when he got to be the showrunner of Doctor Who? He started pushing crappy writing. And I'm
Mhm.
like, what the hell? Because that was the
It's like
issue with
what the.
Jodie. I mean,
Mhm.
he went from saying you need to listen to the fans more to that way you keep the quality of the show up. And then when he came in with Jodie Whittaker, they didn't listen to the fans. They started attacking the fans, which was something that
That's when shit really hit the fan.
because he did
Mhm.
when he was younger and he was a big fan of Doctor Who. I think he was one of the leaders of the Doctor Who fan club back then, and he was talking about you got to
Mhm.
stop attacking the fans. And what did he do when he got to be the showrunner? He started attacking the fans, which is one of the
Yeah, like a
problems.
complete asshole.
That's what's going on. That's what's wrong with Star Trek and Star Wars right now. The fandoms have been, and
Mhm.
Marvel Comics and DC Comics. I mean, all the big
Exactly.
fandoms.
Mhm.
You see the people in charge of them who are mismanaging them, attacking the fans and accusing the fans of why sales are so low.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, first of all, the sales are low. First off, the sales are low because the writing and quality of writing, and for the comic book industry, the quality of the artwork has fallen really short because you're not hiring the tested and proven
You know,
talent.
like there are like art classes from my school that could have done a better job.
Yes,
They would
they've
have
been,
failed you if you had assignments that looked like that. You know, like
and
come on.
it's frustrating,
Yeah.
because it's almost like they're hiring the lowest of the Tumblrites and
They're
fan
just hiring
writers.
cheap people to save money.
Yes, and when you hire, sometimes you might get lucky and find a diamond in the rough that you can pick up, brush off, help shape them into a pure diamond that is a pure moneymaker. Because
Mhm.
that's how you're supposed to find the next set of talent
Yep.
with filler writers and filler artists.
Mm.
People like that, but you're supposed to keep your big flagship people going. It's like in, I hate to go and use movies. Tentpole movies have to have big name stars to sell the
Mhm.
tentpole movie,
Yep.
and Mar the Marvel movies used to do that, but lately
Mhm.
almost all these Marvel movies have been losing money because they're just falling short. The storylines are not as good as they were. I
Mm-mm.
mean,
I
Endgame,
mean, apparently the Thunderbolts is really good.
yes, I've heard that, but all the
They could have made
marketing
Adam Warlock so fucking good. They just ruined him. You know.
and the messed up thing is Adam Warlock in the comics was one of the main.
Yes.
He wasn't quite as a Superman, but he was that type of
Who's
inspirational
Adam
character.
Warlock?
Mhm.
Okay, Adam Warlock, in
Oh
Marvel
wait, yeah,
Comics,
never mind. I know who you're talking about.
uh,
I
Okay,
think I
Bob
used it
Salad.
correctly. I forgot that's what his name.
yeah, his character. If you ever get to read any of the original Infinity Gauntlet
Oh, I
storyline,
have those. I have to add Warlock comics on my Kindle.
and you've got the Infinity War, I was like, why didn't they do that? They could have
I
done the
know.
Infinity Gauntlet, the Infinity War, and the Infinity Watch. They
But
could have
it's like
done those as
the
their mega
Soul
plot.
World was right there. You know,
Yeah.
when Thanos was talking to the younger Gamora, you
Hmm.
know, oh, jeez.
But I mean, they
Mhm.
left money on the table. I keep saying this
Mhm.
about these big companies. They keep leaving money on the table. It's like I was talking in the BattleTech server today about what happened with Star Wars. Star Wars used to be a money printing machine,
Yep.
because they had the toys, they had the books, they had the magazines, the comics, the video games, all this stuff.
Mhm.
Okay. Disney and Kathleen Kennedy being in charge of Lucasfilm has mismanaged Star Wars so bad.
Mhm.
Has one of the biggest building blocks of sales for Hasbro was Star Wars toys. And now they can't give them away.
Mhm.
And Hasbro, the rumor is that in the offices of the C-suite of Hasbro, they're debating stop being a toy manufacturer.
Jeez, really?
And that right there is something that I'm like going, holy crap. Hasbro,
That's bad. Oh.
the only toys that are really selling right now for these big franchises is places that do the collectible toys, like,
Mhm.
that you can buy from Sideshow. Which, if you guys have never seen Sideshow, what is wrong with you? I thought you were a geek and a fandom geek at that. Go to Sideshow, man. Their website is amazing. They've got all kinds of
Ooh.
collectibles. They've got
Stuff that's
toys.
actually good?
I get my
Yeah,
stuff from the Big Bad Toy Store.
yes. Sideshow is it's a store where you can buy all these collectibles that are produced by all these different companies, like
Oh,
Hot Toys.
cool.
Hot Toys makes some of the best 1/6 figures
I'm not
of
a huge
characters.
fan of Hot Toys, mainly because of the lack of posability. That I just don't like. Just bruh.
Because right
Because
now
when I
I
get figures,
have
I like to pose
1,
them.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 different Hot Toys figures. Let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3. Let's see, that's 5 Captain Americas. I've got the Black Widow from the Avengers movie. I've got Scarlet Witch from Age of Ultron.
Oh,
Um,
so cool.
let's see.
Hot Toys are still pretty cool though. There's like only a couple that I'm actually wanting to get, and that's ah, Amazing Spider-Man from the first movie with Andrew Garfield and Anakin Skywalker.
Wow. There are still toys that are actually still good and not all woke cheap garbage.
Yeah, they do some
So sideshow.com, isn't it?
sideshow. Yes.
The sideshow? Okay.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find the link to it.
How can toys be woke?
Bad quality made.
Mm-hmm.
That's not woke. That's just shitty materials.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the reason why we say woke is the fact that the company has taken it over and they're pushing their
Agenda.
politics and agendas over
That.
over the toys, making toys that people want. All right, here we go. Here is the link to Sideshow.
I think that's just bad supply and demand.
Exactly,
Mhm.
which is what's wrong with most of the mainstream stuff that's coming out is they're not listening to the
Mhm.
people that buy the stuff.
Yeah, but
They're-
how does that come into politics?
Because the people in charge are pushing their politics. They're using these platforms to push politics. It's insane in all honesty because, like I said, they're not listening to the fandom that they're supposed to be selling to. Instead of looking at the customer base they have, they're thinking about the customer base they want. Let's use Star Wars, for instance. Star Wars has always been predominantly a boy brand. When Disney went out and bought Marvel and Lucasfilm, i.e., Star Wars, they stated that they were buying Marvel and Star Wars so they could get into the boy brand markets because they had the Disney princesses, they had the girl market wrapped up. The only thing they did not control of the girl market was Barbie. Okay. Barbie is its own thing. But Disney had wrapped up all they had so much control over the girl market, it wasn't even funny. And they said, hey, maybe we should start also focusing on entertaining the little boys as well. That will double the amount of people coming to our parks because guess what? All of their movies, all their toys, and everything else was advertisement for their parks because the parks is where they make their real money. So they bought Marvel the Marvel Entertainment, and they bought Star Wars, two established brands that were predominantly boy and male focused. What did they do? What have they turned them into? They said, oh, we've got this boy brand. What are we going to do with it? Let's put women in charge. Instead of the boy characters being the big badasses, let's change it and put girl bosses in. Now, if the girl boss is well written and well acted, like Ripley from Aliens, Laura Croft, there's so many of them, I just can't rattle them all off right now. But we've had really good female characters that have carried franchises. Alice from the Resident Evil.
Yep.
Like I said, it's not us being upset with a girl boss. It's the Mary Sue girl boss that gets us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Black Widow movie, I love that movie, but it should have came out a long time ago.
I hate what they
Mhm.
done with Taskmaster.
Yes, me too. That they
They
That
just
was
ruined the
bullshit. That was
character. They had
bullshit what
so
they
much
did.
potential.
Ugh.
They could have made him funny and just insult them whilst they were beating their ass like he would be in the comics. But no,
Mhm.
they're
Mhm.
just this
Yeah.
silent weirdo.
Like I said, that's what we're talking about the Wokies
Yep.
pushing the message over the story and the
Mhm.
characters. And that's it frustrates me because Taskmaster is one of my favorite characters in
Mhm.
Marvel Comics. I don't see him as a villain. He's a mercenary. If you pay him money, he's going to do it for you.
Yep.
If you pay, it's like, I'll give you $10 if you take your clothes off and pole dance. He'll go, $10. Cross my palm first.
Motherfucker, am I only worth $10 to you? Bitch, at least give me 20.
Exactly. That's Taskmaster, okay?
Mhm.
Oh, I saw a hilarious video on TikTok of like a guy voicing over all of like Taskmaster's scenes of what an accurate Taskmaster would have been like, and it was just hilarious.
Yeah. But you get where we're coming from now.
Yeah.
Now that we brought it into something that you can understand better.
Mhm.
But these shows, these comics, everything, it falls back to what I've been saying. There's no such thing as a bad character, just bad writers.
Yep.
And I like the character of Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. I just think
Mhm.
that the writers that they have for her really suck.
Yep.
Now I played the Avengers game that had her in it.
Mhm.
I
Bro,
like
that game was ass.
I
So
like
extreme ass.
okay, I liked the aspects that they had of having her as your main view character where she's running around trying to get the Avengers back together. I like that whole concept. And I like the fact that the father wasn't a doofus, that he was supportive of her. I like that too, which is,
There's no room for character development though.
yes, exactly. That's one
I
of the
want all
things.
my characters to be deeply traumatized.
See,
They got a positive parental figure. Ah, they dead.
yeah,
Deader than George Floyd or any other famous guy that was assassinated or some shit.
but like I said, I just look at these things and Doctor Who to me, it was inspiring to me as a
Yep.
kid. And ha- though it did give me this whole thing of the possibility of somebody out there who's got the experience being and who knows what needs to be done showing up to fix problems. And that's one of the reasons why growing up I said something that my parents really liked. If you see something, do something until somebody better qualified comes along and relieves you. And they liked that, and they told that to Dr. Birch. And when it came to, we were building the Hickory Nut Gorge EMS up in the mountains, and Dr. Birch liked when I said that because he's like, that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. If you see somebody in medical emergency, you're supposed to help them until somebody better qualified comes along and takes your place. Because, like chest compressions, that keeps the heart and blood circulating to keep the body from dying.
Mhm.
Anybody can do that. You don't have to have a medical degree to do that. You don't have to have a medical degree to keep breathing into somebody's lungs to keep their lungs filled with air. You know, you are your own first responder. The person who first sees somebody in need, You're the true first responder. You're the one that's supposed to start rendering aid and dial 911 here in the United States. I can't remember what the number is in the UK.
It's 999. Quicker to type.
And so
But it wouldn't really make much of a difference. Just easier to remember, in my opinion.
Yep. And you've got these things that that's what the first responder is for. That's who the real first responder is. The police, the firefighters, and the paramedics and EMTs, emergency medical technicians, for those who don't know what EMT means, they're the second responder. They're the expert who shows up to take your place from when you first arrive on the scene, when you first see it. And like I said, you're supposed to do something until somebody better qualified comes along to relieve you. And it's one of the reasons why, like the Penny case there in New York City, they went after the white Marine veteran, but the two other people that was helping him trying to restrain a crazy man, one was black and one was Hispanic. They didn't charge them with anything. That was a political persecution, because even the black people that was in the car that they tried to force into testifying against Penny were all saying, no, this guy came in and was threatening to kill us all. I'm grateful he stepped in and acted. And the guy was sitting there doing everything he could not to harm the dude as he was restraining him. And it's because of the political bullshit like that, to trying to stop people from defending themselves or defending the lives of others, is one of the reasons why I think the world is getting to be such a screwed up place, because people will sit there and step over somebody in need, saying, oh, there's a government program for that. Oh, let the police do that. That sort of is the mentality that the world has gotten today.
It's like, we wouldn't do that.
And
we would try our best until, like you said, someone else shows up. And
yes, that's because we still believe in the innate goodness of doing the right thing.
Exactly.
But it's things like what
so
happened.
Obvious,
but it's like in the big cities where people who defend themselves get prosecuted for defending themselves, or they get prosecuted for defending the life of another. And when you keep seeing that over and over again, it numbs you. When we were homeless, I don't know how many times I heard the phrase, oh, go to social services. They're going to help you. There's programs to help you. And I would look at them and say, I'm already going that route, and they can't help us. They're overwhelmed. And the church groups that tried to help us, but they were even stopped from helping us because Emma was pregnant with Zachary at the time. And the majority of the shelters would not take a pregnant woman in. And the one shelter that would have taken Emma in would have only taken Emma, Jack in. I would not have been allowed to be taken into their shelter. And Emma said, no, it's going to be all of us or none of us. We're in this together. Which is another reason why I thought, never mind. But we have got, I saw this writing on the wall back then, that people have gotten into that whole mindset, oh, there's a government program for this. I don't need to help. I don't even need to care about these people, and step over somebody in need and continue on their way. Look at what's been going on in California. Okay. That's so messed up, it's not even funny.
Exactly.
Now, what they were doing to veterans, homeless veterans there in California, was even worse because
Mhm.
The VA had built little apartment areas for homeless veterans to live in,
Mhm.
but they wouldn't allow these veterans to live in them because the veterans did not want to give up their freedom of speech or their right to defend themselves or the right to be able to take their medicines on their own schedules. So they were out living on the street in front of these complexes that were built to house homeless veterans. Hi there, William. How you doing today? We're talking about Doctor Who today. This is our first episode of talking about Doctor Who.
William.
Yep, William Sova. He's in the chat.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, here.
Oh.
I'll put him up on the screen. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was here from when Shrubby and I were talking for 5 hours. But yeah, and the Doctor, that was the beautiful thing about the Doctor. You know, he was bouncing around time and space, going from one group of people who needed help to the other. And he would see what was needed, and then he would help them.
Yep, exactly.
And that, to me, that is the quintessential hero to me.
Precisely.
And that, believe it or not, this is a very American format for heroes. The Great American Nomad hero concept. It was really made popular in the 1970s with shows like The Incredible Hulk with Bruce Bixby, David Carradine's Kung Fu. And it goes back to the Western time of the Old West because conversation John Stewart service. Yep. John Stewart. Yeah. And because that was a staple of American literature and storytelling was, the nameless stranger going town from town, encountering people in need and then helping them. That is the whole concept behind Doctor Who.
Exactly.
I know that they sold Doctor Who as, hey, this will help us teach history to kids. He's a time traveler. And I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. That would make a really awesome educational or edutainment type show. That I kind of wish that they would put back into the Doctor Who series. But instead, when they do try to do that, they're putting the message in again. And which completely dilutes what it is you're trying to do. The whole point about history isn't to make somebody feel comfortable about the bad shit that happened in the past. It's to show them the bad shit. It's to show them the scars. It's to show them where we were at and what we had to do to overcome all of it.
Precisely.
And when you gloss over these things, you're diminishing the blood, sweat, and tears and lives that were lost and shed to get us to the point we are today. It's like when it comes to gay rights. At one time, in recent memory, I think it was in the 90s, in many a country, it was illegal to be gay.
It still is in a few.
Oh, yeah, especially in the Middle East. But I mean, in the Western world.
Well, yeah, because over there, they have all their religions make all their laws. Which is the dumbest shit ever.
Well, Islam isn't just a religion. It is a way of life. It is a way of politics.
What religions are?
Not all. Because, like Christianity, like Christ said, render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's and render unto God which that is God's. That there was a difference between religion and politics, and i.e. government. And that's one of the reasons why in the United States we have the fact that churches aren't taxed They're not part of the government, and you cannot have a state established or a federally established national religion. Uh, individual states can have official churches, but in practice, that's been grandfathered out. But by our constitutions, each state can have their own churches. At one time, if I remember right, North Carolina was a Baptist church was the state church.
Mhm.
History's a fun thing, son.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
and like I said, you learn where we came from. That way you don't make those same mistakes. And that was the whole point about Doctor Who. The Doctor is running around trying to make sure the same mistakes that he saw before doesn't get repeated. I mean, that was the whole bit with the War Doctor. It's one of the reasons why the whole thing with the Doctor during the War Doctor time and what he did to end the Time War had such a major effect on Eccleston's Doctor, Tennant's Doctor, and Matt Smith's Doctor.
Yeah.
They were carrying that guilt with them because they're like, oh my God, I killed all of the Daleks and I killed all of the Gallifreyans. You know, he exterminated and genocided 2 species, and he was carrying that with him. And that weight, that is one of the things that was pushing him so hard. That was why the 50th anniversary special and why the War Doctor decided when he saw how hard 11 and 10 was fighting to keep the Zygons and the humans from killing each other and exterminating each other was because of what he did. He's like, I've got to go and do it. And the other and 10 and 11 stops him and says, no, we've been thinking about this a lot. We've got a way we can end this. And they end up having to get all the doctors to work together to do it and pull it off.
One of the greatest episodes.
Yes. And so I'm asking this question. Why can't they keep writing good? There has to be a reason why they're doing it. And Russell T Davies in his return has proven the point that we've been making. They're putting the message before good storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
And then they double and triple and quadruple down on the message instead of the good storytelling. Now, that frustrates me. I've got ideas of how they could fix the Doctor Who and make it what it used to be again. It's not that hard.
Yeah, it isn't.
Okay. But I feel that way about Marvel and DC Comics as well. It's not that hard to fix.
Yep.
Okay.
It's not. It's right there. They just got to do it.
You just have to have the cojones to do it. And in today's political atmosphere that they have built within the industry, that's the problem. They don't want the same small little group of people on Blue Sky and Twitter X acting like, oh, you're a bunch of Nazis and you're changing everything that we love. Well, you're not buying the comics. You're not going and seeing the movies. You're not going and watching the TV shows. You're not buying the products that are being advertised on those shows. So, and like I said, instead of catering to the clientele they already got, they're kicking them in the nuts or shooting them in the nuts with bean bags, which is requiring one of the nuts to be chopped off because they've damaged the clientele's nuts. Okay. I wouldn't be able to be saying all this if Cash was here, but that messes him up something fierce. But hey, everybody has their issues, and I ain't gonna shame somebody because of their issues. But when you keep doing that, you're gonna keep losing your clientele. For example, hey,
Mhm.
what's your favorite food to cook, Zachary?
Preferably one that requires one ingredient, my phone, and that is takeout pizza.
No, okay. Let's say your favorite takeout pizza place decides we're not doing pizza no more. We're doing Impossible Burgers now.
I'll try it. If I don't like it, I'll go to the second best pizza place.
Okay, that's what they're. That's the situation that you're seeing with the mainstream of comics and movies now. Is people
I
are
mean, if the burgers are good though, then it'll be like, hey, man, burgers are pretty neat.
that's just it. The the burgers that they're selling taste like shit.
Mhm.
Well, damn.
Oh, and that's the problem. And which sucks because these are some of you've got uh Doctor Who over 60 years worth of brand loyalty that they've thrown away. Star Trek almost 60 years worth.
Mhm.
Uh, Star Wars is the younger of of these big major franchises, but it has a very loyal fan base that they ran off. And Doctor Who is the perfect has become the perfect example of what the fans have been talking about. I mean, since Jodie Whittaker, they've been losing viewership massively. Shitty Gatwa's last season that they did, they lost half of their viewership each episode from the last.
Mhm.
And that right there should be telling you something. If the writers were and the producers and everything were doing their job right, they were like going, okay, what we're doing's not working. We need to fix it. It's the same way with what's been coming out of Disney.
Exactly.
If this was incompetence, every now and again we would see something going, oh, awesome, you know, but we're not seeing that. We're still seeing crap, 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 and it's getting worse, worse, and worse.
Mhm.
Okay, Lilo and Stitch was one of my favorite of their movies. Not just because Jack and Zachary loved watching it all the time, but the whole message of Lilo and Stitch was family. Family does for family, be they by blood or be they found. And you know how I feel about family. Everybody keeps making the joke that
Exactly.
I'm doing Vin Diesel from Fast and the Furious saying family. But that's how I am.
It's no joke at all.
And
It's truth.
so at the end of this new movie, the live action version of it, she gives Lilo up to the state
Huh?
and goes to California to go to learn marine biology at a college in California when some of the best colleges teaching marine biology are right there in flipping Hawaii.
That's why so many people were pissed at the ending.
Yes.
Oh, that's why.
Also, they ended up cutting out one of the biggest the biggest antagonist from the movie. They cut them out and they turned Jumba into that antagonist at the end of it. And
Not Jumbo.
yeah, it's
My boy.
like I said, I was looking forward to this movie, and I'm still going to watch it because I believe in watching it and making my own mind up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like but I'm having to wait until it comes out on streaming so I can watch it.
I think it comes out on Disney Plus pretty soon.
Yeah, it's what I'm hoping. It's like with Thunderbolts. I can't wait for it to hit streaming so I can watch it. But yeah, I I love these franchises. Okay,
I do
I'm
too.
I
You
am
know?
a fan of these franchises for several of these franchises for the entirety of the existence of the franchise. In
Mhm.
Star Trek, I have been a fan of Star Trek since I was born. My mom and grandparents used to joke that my mom loved Spock so much I was born with pointed ears. And the baby pictures of me with pointed ears, you can see pointed ears. And the fact that when I opened my eyes for the first time, it scared everybody in the room because my eyes were blue. I mean, like blue marbles, blue. There was no whites in my eyes. Even the whites of my eyes were blue.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that
And
was
Cool.
for some concern.
yeah, it
That's
scared
cool.
At first, I
Hell.
was confused and be like, "Yo, what kind of racist family am I born into?"
no. It was it was wild because one of the nurses scared the hell out of my mom about an hour to 2 hours after I was born by screaming, Miss Spake, your baby, your baby." And my mom's like, "What the hell's wrong with my baby?" And she's like, "You're not gonna believe this." And then she takes mom to go see me. I was literally doing push-ups to look around the room where all the other babies were crying so I could see what they were crying about. And
Wow.
it was that yeah, that was it. All right. William says, one way I had for fixing Doctor Who was to reveal that the reason why the Doctor been having weird regeneration is he's been hijacked by the last Empress of the Gallifreyans. That would be pretty cool
Mhm.
because my idea was have a couple of these last regenerations having been a regeneration delusion dream.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, I don't agree with that one. The Timeless Child stuff would be more along the lines of a master fucking with a doctor
Mhm.
because that really screws with everything that when it came down to it. Because originally the Gallifreyans, when they first really got started, were not that much of an asshole. But yeah, uh, but yeah, Doctor Who can be saved. Star Wars can be saved. Star Trek
Exactly.
can be saved. All it takes is good writing. And
Mhm.
once we get the
And
good
it's fans
writers
that
back,
keep on the fight until it is fixed.
yeah, that's going to be the hard part is
Mhm.
because so many of the fans that were the most loyal fans have gotten to so disillusioned and black pilled they've walked away because a lot of the fans that have walked away have the ideas that could fix it and they have the strength that could have brought it back but too many what that's my issue that my problem with black pilling is you become a nihilist and you just fuck it let it die and that indifference is what kills fandoms is whenever you turn people so off so bad they just walk away from it they don't care no more
That ain't me, you know.
and sadly having somebody that cares about something is better than them not caring if they're
Mhm.
complaining it means they still care
Mhm.
uh, which is what some of the like in the TV and movie studios are like, well, they're still complaining, so that means they still care. Maybe we can bring them around, but they keep making it worse.
Mhm.
And I keep coming back to the fact that the, it's messed up. Russell T Davies is the reason why we have modern Doctor Who, and he really messed things up.
Mhm. Yep.
Oh, okay. That sounds a lot better. William says, "No, I'm talking about the empire that the Gallifreyans rebelled against to create their current society, and his memories was fusing with the Empress, causing that bullshit." Okay. But I still think that they should use that as the Master fucking with him,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the type of shit the Master would do.
Oh yeah, exactly. Exactly. The Master would definitely pull that.
Though I kind of wish they wouldn't have switched out the I like the actress that plays Missy, and
Oh, she was great as Missy. They fucking nailed it.
it was
She
so
was
cool
incredible.
because in the background they were saying that at one time the Master and the Doctor were friends, and until they ended up becoming rivals. And I can't remember which the novels that they had written that basically the Doctor kept telling the Master to stop using up all of his regenerations. Oh, I don't like the way my hair looks today. I'm going to regenerate, and regenerates himself so he makes his hair look better or some shit. You're wasting your regenerations. You need to stop that. Also, they used to have it to where the Doctor had no control over his regenerations. Remember that? It was always potluck of whatever he was going to get.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And in fact, they incorporated that into the role-playing game, which I can't wait to tell you about the role-playing game because you haven't. You're like, they made a role-playing game? And I'm like, yes, they made a whole bunch of them. And but yeah, there's several. They made several role-playing games, just like there's a whole bunch of comic books, whole bunch of magazines, whole bunch of toys, whole bunch of games. If I remember right, there is a video game of the Doctor for Doctor Who, but I can't remember.
Ooh.
I know there's a porn video game of the Doctor.
The fuck?
Yeah, it's called Lord of Time. You can
How do
find
you
it
know
on.
that?
Yeah, you can find it on Steam.
How do you know that?
I'm not telling you.
Oh.
Yeah,
Uh,
I had to make that statement for
my
Jill
father. Yeah.
because antiderivative Jill, she and Scotty have their channel, and Scotty was talking about wanting to get a She-Hulk love doll, and I said, "What? That's like $4,000." And Jill goes, "Wait a minute, how did Richard know how much a love doll cost?" And I'm like, I like to read. I know kind of rude shit. When you have insomnia, man, you look up some weird shit.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
so yes, when I get really bad insomnia, I'm like, I wonder, did anybody ever do this before? Ooh, they did, and then I get lost in a tangent. But yeah, believe it or not, the way they make the love dolls is pretty interesting. Where they use the silicone and all this other stuff, and I'm like, how do they keep the bubbles from forming? And that
They just most likely just do the normal thing that people do when they make resin molds.
yeah, it's wild watching the video of where they were making these things.
Just so you know, I know that because I watch people make things out of resin. I'm not a gooner like you.
I'm not a gooner. I'm just a product of about 1 million years worth of biological evolution. But yeah, I look at it's wild when it comes to that, But no, Doctor Who inspired so much stuff. I mean, Blake Seven. What was the other British show that they came out with that was that basically they actually got to start doing sci-fi stuff because of Doctor Who in the UK. Blake Seven. There was another one that they came out with. There was Sapphire and Lace. What's the other one? There was it had a rocket ship in it, and it was the one. It was the other one than Blake Seven. but I mean, all these really good shows that came out of that, and the fact
Mhm.
that Doctor Who has always been forward thinking and progressive. I mean, the creator of Doctor Who was a woman. The primary visual cameraman was gay. Like I said, this is in the 1960s, and being gay was against the law. I mean, look at
Mhm.
what happened to Turing. Okay, when people found out he was gay, that shit killed the dude that helped win World War II by breaking the Enigma code, which was a code that, in all honesty, breaking that code was a miracle. And Turing is the father of modern computing and the computing language. And he was gay, and they basically caused him to commit suicide because of they made him undergo chemical castration, which really fucked up his mental state and his emotional state because of all the chemicals they were pumping into him. It caused him to commit suicide.
God, that's effed up.
Yes. Why do you think I keep getting upset when these people of today keep saying that they're oppressed while ignoring the true oppression that was overcome? They're dismissing it.
Exactly. Mhm.
Okay. It frustrates me to no end because the
Mhm.
people that suffered to get us to where we are today, that suffering needs to be remembered. Now, if Pride Month was about remembering that and celebrating the efforts that they took, I would be all for it. But not this
Yeah,
where they're
exactly.
back, not where they're doing parades in the middle of cities with children watching while they're having gay sex on the parade floats going by.
Just another like corporate thing they just leech off of for a month. Ugh. You know.
That's what I helped fight to get same-sex marriage done because of Aunt Carol. Okay?
Mhm.
And other little rights that built up to that. My
Yep.
Aunt Carol, she came out as a lesbian in South Carolina, the deep South, in the late 1970s.
Oh
Okay?
shit.
And she left her husband and kids to do it. So that added to how much people were like, ooh, that's bad when it came to her.
Mhm.
So I know the struggle. It happened in my family. We
Yep.
had to help her get through that shit. And I'm sorry, I'm getting on a tangent, but
It's okay. You know.
it, it it does. It frustrates me because I know
Mhm.
what the real thing looked like, and I know
Yeah.
the pain that they went through. And to dismiss it the way that these modern activists are doing,
It's disgusting.
yes, because I know what Aunt Carol went through, and
Mhm.
it just really, really upsets me
Mhm.
because history, they don't teach it anymore. They
They
don't
don't.
teach they just want to
School,
teach
yeah,
their
schools don't
version of
teach
it.
you shit anymore. You gotta teach yourself, basically. They ain't gonna do it.
And the majority of people, oh, if I don't have to learn it, I'm not going to learn it. And that's one of the reasons why it's so easy for them to be swayed to think one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
They're not teaching how to think in schools anymore. They're teaching them what to think. That's the problem. Which, let's get back to Doctor Who, because
Yeah.
that was something that the doctor brought up under Tom Baker's doctor.
Yep.
Because
Mm-hmm.
Tom Baker's doctor actually said, see, I'm paraphrasing it, that smart, wise people will change their minds by the facts, but authoritarian, dumb people change the facts to fit what they think.
Exactly.
And that right there,
That's another great quote of his.
like I said, Doctor Who is one of those. It's a gem. It's a treasure. And
Mhm.
like I said, it has proven what I've said about bad writing and bad writers. It has to be written by good writers, smart writers, people who can plot stuff out and realize the fact that you're writing for a character who, yes, at the end of it, you find out all along he knew what was going on and how to deal with it because he's that old. But he had to get those that he was helping to come to the right conclusions. It's very rare when he's had to force the right conclusion, kind of like what happened with the Peter Capaldi episode and the moon being an egg. Do you remember that one?
Hmm.
The moon was an egg and it broke open and it was a big giant space moth.
The fuck.
Yeah, it because they're like gravity is going crazy on the moon and we don't know why. And that was a pretty good episode. That was the first time because he was going to let humanity vote on do we destroy the thing that's inside the egg to save the earth, or do we let nature do it what it needs to do? And the majority of humanity voted to kill it, and he wouldn't let them kill it. And because
What
once
a fucking dickhead! Because he gave him a choice and he's not gonna fucking honor it.
yeah, but in the end, he showed that he was right because the newborn space moth laid a new egg, which was a new moon.
Mm-hmm.
That the growing pains of it being born is what was causing the problems, and that it was only temporary, and nobody died, and that was the whole thing about the doctor. You don't kill people if you don't have to.
Yep,
And even,
exactly.
and I mean, hell, he doesn't even like killing Daleks. That was
I
the
think
whole
it's pronounced Dalek.
No, isn't that what I said?
No, you said Dalek.
Oh, okay. But even killing them, it's not something he likes. The episode of Peter Capaldi of the Good Diet, I think the name of the show episode was The Good Dialect. And at the end of it, the dialect that turned against all the other dialects gave what he thought was a compliment to the doctor, saying he was a good dialect because he was so good at with his hate.
Oh yeah, wasn't that with him and Nine?
I'm not sure. It's
I'm not
possible,
sure either,
but
Mhm.
it was like I said.
because
The doc,
because Nine was telling Daleks like, why don't you just die? And then he goes, and then Dalek goes like, you make a good Dalek.
yeah, that
Mhm.
the the Doctor Who is one of those shows, man, that just is really good when it's got good
Uh-huh.
writers.
Exactly.
And that's one of the reasons why so many people are hoping that they'll take a hiatus so they can find good writers.
Mm-hmm. That's what saved it the last time.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people didn't know that during the gap between the classic Who and modern Who, Doctor Who continued in novel form, radio
Mm-hmm.
shows,
Yep. Yep.
um, the comics, magazines, and especially the toys. I mean, when I went
Oh.
over to the UK and found all those toys, I was like, "Oh my god, this is so awesome!" And Emma was like, "No, you're not buying any Doctor Who toys." And I was like, "Okay." And the second time I was over for Zachary's second birthday, I was like scraping, saving every cent I had to be able to extend the amount of time I was staying there. uh, which is one of the reasons why the people at the pub and the Gurkha restaurant, when they found out what I was doing, they started showing up at the hotel where I was staying and giving me food, and why that made that so big. But anywho, Doctor Who is one of the when we talk about Doctor Who, we'll more than likely do reviews of the TV shows,
Yep.
the movie, because there's more than one movie. Because you've got
like the one in the 90s.
yes, that
The TV one that brought it back.
yep, you had Peter McGowan. Peter McGowan is the longest serving doctor. Most people don't know that. I had to educate a whole bunch of people on the Facebook Doctor Who group about that, because they're like, McGowan had the shortest tenure as the doctor. I'm like, no, he didn't. He had the longest.
No, he didn't.
Because McGowan was the doctor from all that time, because he did the radio shows, radio plays, novels, audio books. He was he was the official voice of the Doctor throughout all of that.
Yeah, it's like
Yes,
he did it actually
Peter
longer
Cushing.
than Baker.
Yes, Peter Cushing, the Peter
Oh,
Cushing
there's a
movie.
Peter Cushing movie?
Yes, it was the first one, and it's where they
Ooh.
and it was done back
Oh,
in the day.
God.
The difference was he was a human
Definitely.
inventor and not an alien, but he invented a time machine.
Mm.
And I have been trying to find that movie so I can buy it.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And if I could get my hands on it, that'd be one of those things I'd like to do what Tony did, where he showed a movie on the Discords. Because showing it on Discord, you could have as many people on it as you want. Doing the movie on StreamYard, you can only have like 10 people.
I have no idea how you even do movies on StreamYard and Discord. How do you even get that to work?
You can go into a voice channel and you can click share screen.
Yeah.
And then you just need to click what you want to share.
Hmm.
It's pretty cool. Zachary is going to be teaching us a whole bunch of stuff with Discord.
Good.
All right. William says my library back home had the DVD. That was how I got to watch it the first time, was from the library that I had that I could go to. Problem is, they moved the library to a different location, and being a shut-in, I can't get to it. Hey, Carlos Fish.
Hey, Carlos, hi.
We're talking about Doctor Who, and we're about to start wrapping things up. But yeah, one of the things that gets me, the Doctor is so cool, and the stories were always so inventive, and Dr. Pooh or old when it was good. The good Doctor Who. So Doctor Who, like I said a little bit ago, is in essence proving that if you don't have good writers, your IP is going to die.
Exactly.
And that's even more so than Star Wars and Star Trek. Doctor Who has proven without a doubt, when you have people who can't tell stories that just want to push the message, it's going to kill the show. A blue port a potty. Yeah. But I love if you don't have good writers, the show's not going to go well.
Exactly.
And Doctor Who proves it, because the Doctor is one of those characters. You have to have a writing staff that's intelligent and able to craft and tell good stories.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you've got bad writers, you get what we've been getting.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And his character has to be crafted. You have to
Mm-hmm.
have a fine craftsman doing it. Uh, it's one of those things to where you can't half-ass it.
Nope.
It's like, do you want somebody half-assing building your house? No, because your house might blow over one day.
Mm-hmm.
That's the story. You have to craft the story. You have to build it.
That's what some failed to comprehend.
Well,
You know.
when Russell T Davies came back, I had
that's
some hopes. I had
true.
some hopes because I was like, "Hey, he's the one who help bring it back to begin it."
Mm-hmm.
And they shoved their whole ass into it. Yeah, because he put the message ahead of the storytelling. That's what happened with Torchwood.
Mm-hmm.
Torchwood was one I loved. Torchwood, the first couple of seasons of Torchwood.
Yeah, Torchwood was freaking awesome. The first couple of seasons.
It was awesome, and I loved Captain Jack's character in it. But the show slowly became, what straight guy can Captain Jack have sex with and turn gay? That's what what it ended up turning into. The Children of Earth that had Peter Capaldi show back up in it. That was one of the darker things that they did. Then they did the whole. The last season I saw was the one where nobody could die, except for Captain Jack was dying, and what they were having to do with that one. Like I said, Russell T Davies, he went from being a good storyteller to being somebody who only cares about the message.
It's like, what the fuck happened with him?
He's become bitter. That's the only thing I can think of, and it's sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is.
Because he was a really good storyteller who cared about crafting good stories that would be timeless. And whenever you allow yourself to be blinded by your own biases, that's what.
I just got a achievement in Jedi Survivor called "It's a Trap," and that's funny reference.
Cool. It's frustrating. I mean,
it is
because Doctor Who has been around for so long and has inspired so many. It's just like Star Trek has inspired science and engineering. I've talked to people that are in the UK that got into science and engineering because they loved watching Doctor Who. And the fact that they've done what they've done to it, it's gutting me. But, yeah, I think we're.
But we're the types that we ain't going to give up. We can't give up, and we won't give up.
Everything that came before and all of the sacrifices to get us to where we're at. That's why I have a hard time giving up on Star Trek, giving up on Star Wars, giving up on Doctor Who, giving up on Marvel Comics and DC Comics, because of everything that came before that built it up to what we've grown to love and adore about it. To just give up on it means all of that hard work and all of that effort becomes meaningless. And
exactly.
All it's gonna, and really, in the end, only what it takes to fix it is having people who actually love the medium taking it back over and writing who know how to write good stories, writing the good stories again. And that, which unfortunately means somebody's going to have to buy all these IPs back up and put people in and spend the money, spend even more money on getting the talent back to do it. Because
Yep.
I hate to go back to Disney again, or I should say, the Iger Corporation again, because Iger ran off all of their talent.
Exactly.
And
He used Disney to try get into the White House.
yes, and he admitted that in his autobiography.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's the problem, Carlos Fish. They won't relinquish it because they see, oh, this platform, I can use it. But they don't realize they've killed it. Did you hear about that Vader movie a fan did? Yeah, that was Star Wars Theory. He made a really
His
good
was
fan.
yeah, it's really good.
And I mean, look at what happened with the Star Trek fan films. How Viacom Paramount went and screwed that up for all the fan stuff. That's why we no longer have the Star Trek Continues fan series. Was the fact that they didn't like the fact that these fan series was making better Star Trek than what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly. And like I said, that's Iger. That's all Iger. Because at one time, Lucasfilm, if you had an idea for a Star Wars fan film, you contacted them and they helped you with the special effects. Yeah, we do. We need a whole new Hollywood. And yes,
Yeah,
Snowdub is. If you
ground
guys,
freaking up.
let me get the link to
Complete
Snowdub's
redo.
channel because Snowdub is
Complete freaking redo.
he's doing stuff on both YouTube and he's doing stuff on Rumble. Let me see. Snowdub. There we go. Come on, bring it up. All right. Here is a link to Snowdub's channel on YouTube. All right, there we go. There's Snowdub's YouTube channel. And let me see if I can find.
I better check if I'm
Rumble.
still snubbed.
Let's see what's not popping up. There we go. All right, now I go over here and I'll get Snowdub's channel on Rumble. Heck, I still would love to get a chance to go and talk with Snowdub because I want to interview him on here and talk about the Muppets and what Jim Henson, his effect on I'm thinking I want to talk to him about Jim Henson and Jim Henson's effect on popular culture because Jim Henson was a visionary who did so much. And
he really did.
I'm afraid just to reach out to him because I don't want to come across as, pick me, I'd like to have somebody introduce us. That way I don't feel self-conscious about it. So that's where I'm at on that one. But I like watching in the chat. I'm the one that ended up starting the whole referring to. What's the dang dog's name again? Del Rover. Shoot. Dang it. El Perro Del Rover. I'm the one who started referring to him as the neutered wonder, and it's caught on. El Perro Del Rover. Yes, I started referring to him as the neutered wonder, and it caught on. And talking with Shellback and Rudolph, that's fun. And Ginger Wolf, she joined the my gaming server so we can build her a character to where she can play in our role playing game campaign. But yeah, I know
Talking
somebody-
about a game, are we able to do one tomorrow?
I'm hoping we can, because next weekend is Heroes Con, and we won't be able to do it
Mhm.
because Heroes Con, I'm able to get everybody to agree to go. We were actually hoping you would be here by now, so you could go with us,
Mhm.
and I could introduce you to all the comic book professionals that I've talked to all the time at the convention.
But unfortunately, it's really hard getting a passport.
Yeah, I've got to get a photograph made so I can get mine. But yeah, being a shut-in cripple sucks. But yeah, we're trying really hard to save things,
Mhm.
and as long as we care, and as long as we keep fighting, and as long as we still keep loving something, it's never truly dead.
Exactly.
That's why I keep telling everybody, please share the things you love. I need more of my projects to take off so I can make my comic. Well, Carlos, if you were in the Charlotte area, I would tell you to come to Heroes Con next weekend, because you would be able to get people to help you get that started. I've been showing off the Queensman, and I've got a lot of people that are interested in it. I just need help in designing the bad guys that they have to fight. That's the problem. I can come up with the good guys, but I have a hard time coming up with the bad guys. Or at least I should say a bad guy team. I can
Mhm.
come up with individual groups of bad guys that don't work with others well. Well, that right by Kentucky. Okay, and I can't draw. Script and characters written. Hey, get a hold of me, man. If you're a good writer, I can point you in directions of places, and I could definitely use help in writing, because I can tell the story. I just can't write it. But like I said, as long as you love something, it's never going to die. And that's one of the reasons why I get scared with people who are getting black pilled and just walking away from Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, and all the other fandoms, because they've been kicked in the nuts too damn much.
Mhm.
Oh, a car documentary. That sounds like fun. Let me do something right quick. Da.
So, how will we get this on my YouTube channels again? Or that's something Tony's gonna have to help us with?
Give me a second. We'll have to get Tony's help, because I can't.
Okay.
Right,
That's right.
this
We
is-
just don't know how.
Yeah, I'm still learning a lot of this stuff. So,
But so am I. You
all right,
you will
this
be teaching
is-
me a lot.
that's the Discord link for the channel that I set up.
Mhm.
That's the Discord server for this channel. So
Mhm.
please, I keep forgetting to put it in the on each of the different videos, so people can be able to come and sign up for the Discord.
Mhm.
I just keep
Mhm.
forgetting to do it, and that's because traumatic brain injury. I get forgetful at times. It's also one of the reasons why my tangents can go wild at times, and I have to be careful about it. But yeah, I hope everybody had a good first time hanging out and
I
talking about
really
Doctor Who.
did. At first, I thought it would be hard for me to talk about it like this again, but it actually wasn't. First few minutes, and I was going like how I used to be, before all this shit blew up.
Yeah. Hey, Carlos, thank you for joining the server. But yeah, I just want us to share what we love, guys.
Mhm.
Talk about it. Share what you love about it. This world needs a lot more love in it,
Oh
because
yeah, definitely.
we've become so divided because there's people out there purposefully dividing us and saying, oh, they're not human because they don't think like we do. And we've got to, the only way we can counter that is by showing our humanity, by being the people we know we are, and letting that example be our shield. And so love each other, share these things, let people know why you get so defensive over your fandoms. Talk about what you love about the fandom, how it inspires you, how it makes you want to be a better person. That's the whole point about inspiration. It inspires you to be what? A better person. It promotes your compassion, your empathy. It makes you want to build a better world. Because there's a lot of people out there who think, oh, you're just against it because of this, that, or the other thing. And it's like, no, I don't like bad writing. I don't like bad storytelling. I am emotionally and mentally invested in these characters and these concepts. And whenever you take a shit on it, yes, I'm going to get upset because I love it. How would you feel if somebody took one of the characters that you loved and completely changed them into something they're not? You know, how would you feel if you took a character that was like
that? They would get just as pissed off too.
Exactly.
You know, like us. So it's like, yeah, now you know how I feel. You know?
Exactly. And I just want us to show our humanity, show our love, our compassion.
And that's our whole point of us even doing this. You know?
And that's what I loved about Doctor Who. The Doctor did that. He was more human than human. That's why he had two hearts.
To carry it all. That's why he had two in the first place.
Yes, to carry the amount of love and compassion he had. He had to have two hearts.
His sonic screwdriver was made to fix things. You know? That was the entirety of its point, and so forth.
Exactly. And so guys and gals and everything in between, know that you're loved. You are not alone. You are valuable. You are human. You are more than deserving of love and compassion. And know this. You're loved. And you have a place at my table at any time. So, I love you all. I know, Carlos Fish, you're a fish made out of poo, but to me, you're still. Yes, you're an alien from Uranus. It still doesn't change the fact that I love you. I won't kiss you, but I do love you. So, be good. And I hope we get to talk to you all again really, really soon.
I'm so glad we were finally able to do this. Finally.
Yes, very much so.
Made me really realize how shit my old laptop really is. Well, it really was.
I know. I love you guys. Getting this show getting this show off the ground has been hard because of all the little things popping up. But here we are.
Oh, I know. It's because I was talking about some of those frustrations with you. It's like, I get it. I was like, the desire has always been there, just little things just kept popping up over and over until like now,
Yep. And like I tell people, don't let it bring you down because everything happens in its own time. And when we were homeless and I was trying to get us off the street, like I said, I had a big ass notebook full of phone numbers of all and contact information, trying to get us off the street and trying to find work, and what it ended up taking was the regional manager of the Waffle House watching me every day trying to find work. And when he talked to me about it and found out what was going on, he gave me a job washing dishes at the Waffle House so I could get my family off the street. And that's
Mhm.
why I keep saying, keep being you, keep doing the right thing, and people
Mhm.
will see it, and it will either inspire them to be greater or it will inspire them to take action and do the right thing themselves. The
Yep.
more the more people see others doing the right thing, the more they will be inspired to do the right thing.
This
So,
world needs more of this so bad.
and
You
that's
know.
why I'm trying to do this with my channel. And there's
Mhm.
so
Me
many
too.
people that is trying this, that's in this circle. You've got Snowdub, you've got Tony, Stark of Iron, you've got Doomcock, you've got
Mhm.
Carlos Fish, you've got the Tuckerverse. You've got all these people that are so creative and so kind and compassionate and trying their best to save
Mhm.
and preserve what we love. And it's by that love that we're persevering, because love can give you the ability to do the impossible. I do it every day when I walk.
Mhm. Mhm.
I've got doctors to this day, when they look at my medical records and they look at the x-rays and the MRIs and the CAT scans of my legs, are they ask the question, how the hell are you walking?
Mhm.
And that's what I have to do.
Oh, before we sign off, can I show you something on camera real quick? I don't know how
Sure.
well it's going to show up because it's black.
All
But
right, let's
hold
see.
on. Oh. You know the Chameleon Arch fob watches?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
that is
I
so cool.
have one. I have one.
Sweet. Just wait until we make our Muppet movie. Oh yes, Carlos Fish. I cannot wait, uh, because I'm sorry, I still love the Muppets. I
Hey,
will love
no,
the
don't.
Muppets until the day I die, because.
Hey, I do too. You know.
And the funny thing is, you had Sesame Street, which was for the kids, but the Muppets were
Mhm.
for older kids,
Mhm.
namely us adults.
Yep.
That still were kids at heart, because
Mhm.
it just was just amazing. Yeah, I I just love the Muppets, and what the Iger Corporation is doing to the Muppets really upsets me.
Mhm.
Um, and it is
Me
a
too.
it is a medium that the puppeteers are actors, and it's a special type of acting, just like voice acting. But it's
Mhm.
also voice acting is usually just inflections of your voice, but for a puppeteer, it's that plus a physicality that you have to embody into the puppet.
Mhm.
And it's it is a skill that is an art form, just like regular acting. Actually, it's harder than regular acting. And uh, oh God, like I was saying, guys, just share what we love with everyone. Let our love, let our humanity, let our compassion, let our empathy be our shield. Let it also be a shining beacon to the entire world, because this world needs more love in it. And by showing this love, showing this enlightened compassion that we have in us, that we're going to make this world better.
Mhm.
And we need to do that. Exactly. Improv is no script and no safety net, which is what this show is.
Yep.
that's why
Exactly.
that's why everybody that comes and hangs out on it talks about the fact that it's like talking to friends, because that's what we're doing.
Mhm.
We're having a discussion. We're I like it better whenever we've got a lot of people in the chat that's also joining in on the discussions and shaping
Mhm.
the discussions as well. And I am so hoping that we can get more of that as time goes on.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Yep.
We're here.
Well, thank everybody for coming. Thank you for
Thank you
showing
so
up.
much for helping me get the confidence to finally do this. You know.
Like I said, everybody has a voice. Everybody, things happen in time.
Mhm.
There was a part of me that thought that Zachary was never going to reach out to me, but he did. Thank you, Carlos. And I love each and every one of you. If you want some good sci-fi, may I suggest Behold Humanity by Ralts Bloodthorn. It's an action comedy military series that's part of the Humanity Fuck yeah movement. That sounds cool. I'm going to have to look that up. Yeah, I'll definitely go look that up tonight. Because I know Doomcock starts a little later, and then there's I think Tony still is doing the after party. Plus, he's also doing stuff with Snow Dub and Stone Cold Loki. So everybody just
what was the name of that website again?
Sideshow.
Oh, Sideshow. Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Okay. I'll send you the link in the private chat too. So
cool. Thanks. Oh, thank you.
Everybody, thank you guys for coming. We'll be doing this on a regular basis. Not exactly sure on what days we'll be doing it. It all depends on Mary's schedule and
yeah.
That I still want to be able to do 3 live streams a week, and because the Buckethead and I do the live stream where we're talking about whatever current events tickle our fancy that week. Lately, we've been talking about Nintendo and the Switch, and keeping track about that roller coaster ride. We're also going to be doing stuff with Zachary, talking about video games, because he's really good at video games, and he's.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I'm not.
Does he know about the runs I do?
I may have gotten like a 4-kill streak in Titanfall 2 in less than 15 seconds, nay, less than 10 seconds. But I wouldn't say I am good at video games, because I am absolute ass at some of them.
Yeah.
I still need to try giving Sekiro Shadows Die Twice another shot.
Cool. Well, everybody.
Has he seen the runs I've done?
The Elden Scrolls.
Yeah, the Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
My Deathless runs and all this stuff. And my current run that's done based off of Magnus the Red from Warhammer 40K.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you Google what the hardest video game is, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is the first thing that comes up.
Yeah, I was thinking of trying that because I like the Millennia fight so much.
Oh, don't you dare try Sekiro if it's like one of the first Souls games. Try play the other Souls games first.
Yeah,
I made the mistake.
I have played, and I have like the 3 Dark Souls. I have Bloodborne. I play that sometimes.
Okay. Never mind. You may try it. You will cry.
Yep.
You will cry.
Yep. Well,
in words of Anakin Skywalker, you will try.
Well, everybody, share the love. This world needs more love in it. And let's all try to make this world a better place. I love you all, and we'll see you guys.
You guys too, man.
Bye now.
Bye.